I don't care if you're a cop. I don't care if you're a waiter. I don't care if you're a lawyer or a janitor. If your industry is being threatened unjustly, stand up for yourself.
Yep.
Listen, man, I've had cops, that meme that's going around. It's like, have you ever noticed if you haven't done anything illegal, then the police leave you alone? I'm like, yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
When I was sitting in my apartment in Chicago and the cops kicked my door in at gunpoint and came to me and my 3 friends while we were playing GTA, what did we do? What we did nothing illegal. They were looking for somebody else. And they broke all the laws. Nothing happened about it.
Yep.
When I had a cop pull me over and lie about me speeding, what did I do illegal? Nothing. But I'll tell you what, my complaints over having negative experience with the cops, my complaints over the cops who are enforcing unconstitutional decrees from their governors is irrelevant to the conversation about whether or not we need police.
Right.
Police reform. Hey, maybe cops shouldn't be enforcing these unconstitutional orders, and we need to have a conversation about that. Hey, maybe there are bad cops that sometimes do bad things, and it happens more often than you realize. We should have some reform. There's been a big conversation about non-police first responders. That's exactly what I was talking about before. Some kind of civil guard or community response, division that can handle fines, petty offenses, parking tickets, and then the cops can, spend their time dealing with more serious offenders and things like that. There's a complicated conversation around that. But we're actually having a real conversation about the reform. My negative experiences with police, I've got like 1 or 2 positive experiences and then like 7 or 8 negative ones.
Yeah, I've got a few negative
Mostly
experiences myself, but
I
don't care. I mean, I've dealt with people that have scared me. I was on the subway and some dude pulled a knife on me because I was wearing new shoes.
Yeah, it's so weird.
And he looked at me and he was like, "I'll cut you." And I was like, I was just sitting there. I was not talking. I didn't even notice him. I noticed the blade in his hand, and then I looked up and he was deadlocked with me. And I'm like, "What's going on?"
Yeah.
And you know what he did? He looked me right in the eye and he stepped on my shoe. The new shoe, and I was like, wow, okay. What am I going to do? Fight you? No, but I would have, I don't know what I would have done, but it's crazy.
Look, man,
there's crazy people out there.
Yeah.
I've had bad experience with cops, but I think of it this way. When the cops kicked my door in without a warrant and came into my apartment with me and my friends with their guns drawn, they were asking for some guy, and we're like, who? Like, what are you talking about, dude? Yeah. They're like, where is he? Where's he? When we were like, we moved in here a couple months ago. If you came to me and said you were going to put those guys up for the death penalty or 20 years in prison, I'd be like, whoa, dude.
Yeah.
The guy illegally entered my house. I don't know, like suspend him or something.
Well, imagine if one of your friends got killed. They came in and then shot your friend.
Oh yeah, they committed a crime, felony breaking and entering with weapons, and then shot an innocent person.
Well, what if your friend started fighting him? And they didn't realize they were a cop.
Doesn't matter. They still committed a crime.
Okay.
If they break the law, then I think they should be held to a higher standard if they break the law.
So let me ask you a question though about this. Say they let the guy run away. You don't think that they could have gotten in their car and followed him and been like, dude, we know where you live. He's been arrested for a DUI. Like they could have.
Nope.
It's like what? No, what?
They couldn't have done it.
Because he was actually fighting them.
Well, it's you got a guy who's drunk, 0.108, in the process of committing a felony offense.
Yeah.
Who got violent with you and successfully fought off 2 cops.
Yeah, it's messed up.
Who has a history of apparently being violent with other people.
Yeah.
I think his kids.
Yeah.
He steals a deadly weapon, which Atlanta just deemed. They said, you got to understand, tasers are deadly weapons. He fires at you. And in that 1 split-second moment, you have to decide, does he have a weapon? Is he going to kill me? He tried to kill me. I don't know what his intent is. Will he hurt someone else? Will he take someone hostage? So
you got a good point.
My initial assessment was, let him go. The problem then is, what happens if he runs and grabs a woman and puts a taser on her neck and says, get away from me? And now you've got a hostage situation.
Well, it looked like he dropped the taser. It looked like he shot it and like
then he immediately got shot.
Blindly. That's true.
Yeah.
He got shot.
So I'll tell you what, man. I've been in how many of these people who think they know what this cop should have done have ever been in a situation where their life was threatened?
None of them.
None of them.
Yeah.
None of them.
Absolutely not.
I mean, you've seen everybody has seen crazy videos of cops, not police brutality videos. I'm just talking about plain old cop videos of stuff that they're going through that they have to deal with. And it's
we have that one viral video.
That's insane.
Let me pull up the story. So this was actually brought up. James Woods tweeted a video of this. We can't play you the video.
It's hard to watch.
Oh,
It's very hard to
that was
watch.
Tough.
And I'll tell you what this video is about. Check the story out. Man who shot trooper on Route 33 gets up to 110 years in prison. Fortunately, both cops survived. Here's the story. They pull the guy over. Two guys are trying to arrest one man. The one man starts fighting them and actually, gets off of them. They draw their tasers and tase him. He breaks free, pushes them down, and they don't draw their weapons.
Still.
And he does. And he shoots both cops.
Yep.
And
And
he
then
drives
you
off.
watch one of those cops with his hand covered in blood struggle to climb over a guardrail and roll to get to what's called dead ground at an
Yep.
angle where he can't be shot. And this guy leans over his car, still shooting at the cops.
Yep.
Gets in his car and fires out the back window several times and then speeds off.
Then you see videos like this. This is what every single cop, when they're getting trained, sees this kind of stuff, and they're like, this is worst case scenario. You need to prepare for worst case scenario, because any situation can go into a worst case scenario. And it's like, okay, that makes sense. When seeing this, it's crazy. That guy got tasered by both of them.
And still fought him off.
Both of them had their tasers on him.
They didn't want to shoot him, though.
They didn't want to shoot. Of course.
Right.
Who wants
Who
to kill
would?
somebody?
Yep.
Well, you're gonna get shot then.
That probably marks you in your brain. That probably never leaves you. Once that happens.
Here's the problem. We have a bunch of stories about cops who got scared for stupid reasons.
Mm-hmm.
You ever see that video where the guy gets pulled over and the cop's like, "You got license and ID?" And he goes, "Yeah, I got it right here." And he reaches into his truck and then the cop goes, "Ah!" and starts shooting him.
I have seen that. Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
"Well, you told him to
happening?
get it, man. What are you doing?"
Yeah.
Now those cops need to be like put on desk duty permanently.
Yeah.
You're right.
It's like, dude.
Agreed. Definitely.
And there is a real question about when the difficulty is if the cop really was scared for their life and we asked them to enter a situation where they could be put in harm's way and they overreact and panic, can we really hold them criminally liable for being scared and kind of pathetic? It's a hard question, but it typically leans towards the no. Like when it came to Philando Castile, right?
Okay.
Legal gun owner.
Yep.
And the cop got scared because he was reaching and says, "Don't grab your gun," and then he shoots him. That's a very murky situation because you have a guy who has a gun and a
Legally.
cop who panics.
Yep.
So should the guy go to prison for that or be stripped of his powers and removed? The line is so fine. I'm not going to pretend to know the answer, but I can tell you in this instance, at least with Rayshard Brooks, this is clear cut use of force.
Yeah. Well, you said it already, though. All these people that are saying they shouldn't do this, they should blah 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 blah. None of them knows what it's like to be a cop.
None of them
to be in their shoes and deal with this kind of stuff where anything can happen. That you can even a knife. A knife is even more deadly because you don't even see it coming.
Right.
It's
not just
they
that.
don't know. Who knows? But as soon as you start resisting and fighting them, like their minds instantly get pumped with adrenaline because they suddenly are going from on edge to actually fighting. Like who knows? Oh man, this shit gets me. Sorry.
Mythbusters did a video on bringing a knife to a gunfight, and they found that an average person,
Yep.
notably themselves, who are like middle-aged and overweight dudes, a knife is more deadly than a gun.
Yep.
And that's something that cops are
he
trained.
closed the distance, right? We were talking about this.
What is it, 21 feet or something like that?
Wow.
20
Before he can pull the gun out.
Before the gun could be drawn from the holster and fired.
Wow.
He was able to tag him with the knife. So people don't realize that they often say like, don't bring a knife to a gunfight. It's like actually,
Maybe you
depending on
should.
the distance.
Bring both.
Well, no, a knife is a guarantee. If you're
Right.
if you're in close quarters, a knife is a guarantee. A gun isn't.
You can't run out of bullets if you're using a knife.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
Man, I've watched videos on like knife training stuff too.
Yeah.
They're like you see in the movies when they swing the knife and the guy grabs the wrist and flips him over. And then I watched a video on like actual knife fighting, and the guy's like, "Don't believe the movies, man."
No.
And he's like, "Let me show you with a practice knife."
Yeah.
And woo, man, in like 3 seconds, you got 5 lethal wounds just like with an untrained person swinging a knife and jabbing and stabbing.
Yeah.
You can't stop them.
Yeah.
But anyway, in the Rayshard Brooks instance, you had a regrettable case.
Yeah.
We have asked this police officer to enter into a situation where his life could be in danger. Violent offender, committing a felony,
Yep.
drunk, aggressive, steals lethal weapon. Death penalty for that?
Seriously.
Makes no
these
sense.
people who are saying that he's a murderer and stuff, they don't even know the story. They didn't
True.
read any of the news.
Probably.
One of my high profile. I have a friend who's like a celebrity lefty.
Not only that, all the facts aren't even out yet.
Right.
They're just looking at the surface. Whoop. Yep. That
All-
fits
listen.
our narrative. Let's run with it. Go.
Yeah.
All of the activists are saying he was sleeping in his car to Wendy's and the cops shot him.
Right. That's
It's like
ridiculous.
Wait a minute.
Is
Like
that
you left out the
real?
part
Yeah.
where he was pulling out a weapon and shooting it at
So-
him and like
No. Wrestling their weapon away from them.
and then shooting it at him with
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
So I did have a thought. So I wonder if the cops in the parking lot at this Wendy's were thinking about this video that we just watched.
Yeah.
When they were pulling
Yep.
their weapons, and they were like, I got no choice. This guy, not only did he get away from both of us, now he has our taser,
Yep.
and he's tearing off into the neighborhood. So what's going to happen if I don't shoot him? Like, am I going to be dead too? Am I going to be shot? Whatever happened to those other guys?
Or like you said, is he gonna grab a hostage and hold
Right.
the taser to their
You don't know.
their face or whatever it is?
But it's not even about these questions. You know why? Because it is a fraction of a second when you see the taser being pointed at your face.
Yep.
Dude,
And
no time.
then he in the video you see him switch hands and reach for his gun when he swings the taser back.
Yep.
The taser fires and then he goes pop pop pop. Someone's aiming the taser at your face.
Yeah.
How about this one? First and foremost, the cop had no. It's a fraction of a second. Decide. Will you wait to see what happens? No. He's
No.
trying to kill you.
Don't wait.
But
This-
think about
this is
what,
ridiculous.
What would have happened if Rayshard got the taser on him and he dropped down paralyzed and then Rayshard grabbed his gun?
Right. Exactly.
You can't. Look, as much as people don't want to accept it, when the cops say you're under arrest, you put your hands behind your back and you shut your mouth. Rayshard Brooks should have shut his mouth.
Yep.
And this is for everybody, not just him. When the cops started asking questions, what are you doing? What are you doing? He could have said, just fell asleep. Or he could have said, I don't answer questions.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then when they were like, you want to do a field sobriety test? I don't.
Nah.
I don't answer questions. Well, how about a breathalyzer? I don't answer questions.
Yep. He would
That's
have been in a jail cell now.
He wouldn't
Yeah.
be. Maybe. So depending on the jurisdiction, I don't know how Atlanta works, but I think in Illinois, if you refuse field sobriety and a breathalyzer, they can arrest you and then force a breathalyzer at the station.
Right, but wasn't he on parole?
He's on probation.
Oh, probation.
Yep.
Okay.
I mean,
So,
look, if
for a
I'll
DUI
tell you what,
though,
man.
right? Or I don't know.
the first mistake that was made in this whole circumstance was Rayshard Brooks driving drunk. End of story. The next mistake was him resisting arrest for committing a felony. I'm pretty sure DUI is a felony, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yes,
sure. Right.
It absolutely
Okay.
is.
Yeah, 100%.
Definitely.
So listen, man, I just got to say it. If you get caught, don't do the crime if you can't do the time. This guy wanted to drink and drive and risk other people's lives, and he got caught. At that point, you say, you got me, officer. Put your hands behind your back and enjoy your ride downtown.
Yep.
Don't do the crimes. But instead, he said, I'm going to make everything worse. These cops knew who he was. They knew his name.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and apparently I heard they called him backup because they knew he had a violent history.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if that's just more of what I heard on
Well, I do know
social
backup
media.
was on the way, right?
It
That
was.
was what I heard. Yeah.
Yeah. I think when they found out who he was, they decided to call in backup, and death penalty, man. So here, I guess the big question is, we've already seen police across the country resign, just straight up. I'm out.
A lot of people are saying DUIs are not felonies.
They're not
Oh, yeah?
felonies.
And I think what that means is there's a certain blood alcohol limit that makes it a felony. I think there's...
Well, they're saying the first. Some people are saying it's usually a misdemeanor. DUI is a misdemeanor.
I think this
What
was
what
the
about your
second
second?
one.
Your second
Yeah.
DUI.
Yeah, maybe I'm not. See, we're not lawyers. We don't
Yeah,
have.
no.
I'll simplify it. If you commit a crime and you get caught committing that crime,
Right.
don't fight the police and steal their weapons.
Yeah, if you get caught.
Dude, listen, I really hate it when the left tries to use this argument. That, you know what I heard? They're like, man, you got to understand, when they watch videos all day, every day of cops killing people, they get scared and they run for it and they resist. It's like, what are you talking about? The videos are them getting killed for resisting. Like, look, not every single video, but I'll tell you what, we do have a big problem, and it's social media.
You're absolutely right.
These cops who watched this one video and then they assume it could happen to me. It's like, bro, there's 375 million interactions in New York, according to the NYPD union,
Okay.
and almost all of them positive. Don't assume that guy's going to shoot you. But they do. They get scared.
I'm thinking it's like in their training, they have to know that any situation can result in someone pulling a gun or a knife out.
Yeah,
you
for
have
sure.
to be prepared for that.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, I don't know.
Especially when they're committing a crime
yep.
and trying to escape and they're attacking you.
And stealing your weapon.
Yep. Tough calls, man. Tough choices. It's hard to know what the right move is, and people seem to think that if it were me, I know what I would do. No, you don't, man.
Yeah, everyone always loves to know they think they know the answers. They just want to play the blame game. Look, if you have an issue with police, go become a policeman. Be the cop that you want cops to be.
Yeah.
I don't see...
Be the change you want to see in the world.
Exactly.
Yep, exactly.
How many of these people are like, I'm going to become a cop so I can clean up the department?
None of them.
No.
None of them.
Dude, it's just like that meme of the feminists where it's like, you know, the woman reads a paper saying not enough women in STEM.
Yeah.
So she goes to college, and then the next panel is her holding up a gender studies thing, like protesting more women in STEM. Like, go to school for STEM, man.
Yeah. If you want to be in that industry, do it.
Make it happen.
If you have an issue, if you're like fighting for it, what are you really fighting for?
Where was it where the Black Lives Matter protest was all white people and all the cops were black? Do you remember that?
I don't remember where that was, but something did just happen.
Yeah, I saw that
so
picture.
This is confirmed. Sources confirmed that Atlanta PD zones 3 and 6 southeast area already have 20 to 30 cops walk out. That is half of an entire shift.
What's the source on that?
That is Seth Weathers, who reports for Weather Corps. So he's like a weather dude.
A weather guy.
A weather guy,
confirmed. That's my source, is a weather guy. So take that.
What's
with
his
whatever
What's
you
his
want.
Twitter account?
That is Seth Weathers. That's his handle.
Just like regular Seth Weathers?
Regular Seth Weathers.
That is very easy to find.
I know, right?
Seth Weathers here, sometimes tweeting the truth, Weathers Corp owner. So, he he's tweeted it, confirmed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take his word for it. Source confirms Atlanta PD zones 3 and 6 southeast area already have 20 to 30 cops walk out. That's half an entire shift. Bravo
Yeah.
to those cops.
Good
Bravo.
Yep.
Stand up for yourselves, man.
Do it. We need more.
Who are these other cops that are staying there?
Chickens.
I don't know.
No, I don't think that's not fair at all.
You don't think so?
No, because there are cops that are going, if we leave, then we're going to have it's their town, it's their city. They probably love it.
I'm sure.
They might be the ones that I'm talking about. Like, go up and fight and be that cop. That might be them. That might be like, you know what? No, we're here to make a difference. We want to help our community. They exist. I know they do. I've met a few of them. I have friends that are cops, and it's like they're not all bad. There's good cops.
Of course not. Yeah.
So sure, but the cops walking off are good cops too, right?
Sure, but it's like, but you can't just call the ones that are staying chickens. That is not fair at all.
Well, they need to have a conversation then about why 3/4 of them are walking. Half of them are walking off the enther shift.
Well,
obviously,
I'm not saying I blame them. I'm not saying I blame them for walking off.
Maybe a chicken is too strong. But I would really like to see them stand up for what they believe. I want all of them to stand up for what they believe in. And if it takes a night of chaos, I don't want that. I don't think they want that either. But maybe that's what needs to happen. I don't know.
I agree that there's probably a political difference between the cops. And you can't tell who's a coward, who's a chicken just because some want to stay. But I do think the ones staying are making a huge mistake. Notably because the left wants you gone and the right wants you to stand up for yourself.
Right. It is clear that the extremists, doesn't matter if you're on the left or the right, they want the cops to be, either expunged or just to leave. But you got to remember that these are the extremists. These are people on the far sides of the population. And as everything we talked about, there's a bell curve. Most people are in the middle. They're like, what is going on with these two extremists?
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of them our police officers are the same. They're like, man, what is going on here?
Twitter is lighting up with a bunch of claims.
I'm sure it is.
That way more zones have walked off.
Mm-hmm.
But I got to tell you, man, you do not want to be, and I believe Atlanta is trending.
I'm sure it is.
How much of this might just be a bunch of people on Twitter all hooting at each other and high-fiving each other about what's going on? And meanwhile, the Atlanta PD are sitting there like, we're doing our jobs. What are you talking about?
Chilling.
Maybe. Who knows?
But the Seth Weathers guy says he's got it confirmed. Yeah. Some people on Twitter have said that absolute dead air on Atlanta PD zones 5 and 6.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know I wonder if anybody listening, are you guys in Atlanta?
I guess I could pull up my police scanner and see if I can hear anything.
You have
later.
like
I'll do
the
it
app
later.
or something?
Yeah, an app.
Red State just mentions the various reports
Yeah.
that they're walking off following this charge.
This is their chance to take a stand. I don't know.
They have an update. They say the story below has to do with the decision by Fulton County. Oh, okay. So they changed the title. Still, I guess if Seth Weathers is saying it's confirmed, then that's the best we can say. I have no reason to challenge his, integrity. Sounds like it's happening, man.
Yeah, I didn't want an actual source, but
Across the country, cops have been resigning. It's exactly what the left wants, the far left. I wonder what this means for November. We talked about it the other day that regular people in South Philly. There was another story earlier today where a bunch of 80 Black Lives Matter protesters came to some small town of 2,800 people. 700 counter protesters showed up.
Wow.
Weapons. They were smacking people around. I wonder, they call it the silent majority. But what's interesting is that I often hear that from Trump supporters as though the Trump supporters are the silent majority. Technically true, but I think there's a better way to put it. Regular Americans have had enough.
Absolutely.
Regular Americans, doesn't matter what they vote for.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
All they know is some crazy people show up to my town, smashing up my stuff,
Yep,
and so I'm going to show up with a baseball bat.
that's what I've been saying.
yeah.
That's what I've been saying, exactly.
100%.
Go out to get out of the cities. Go to the
Get
smaller
out, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm there.
Everybody.
If we're talking about the Antifa folk, the people that are smashing stuff, it's like, yeah, sure, leave the cities, see what happens, and go to the smaller areas, and start riling up someone who will shoot you. We just saw it in New
But you're not
Mexico.
actually telling anyone to do anything.
No.
That's
Right,
clear.
No,
Yeah.
definitely. I'm not saying it.
No.
I was just referencing that I've been saying that's what's going to happen.
Yep.
Right.
They're going to meet the huge force of what America is. The average American is like, we're not going to stand for this. Now we're seeing it.
Yep.
Yeah.
A couple of good
This is
old
what I've
boys
been
show up
saying.
with some baseball bats, some crowbars.
Mm-hmm.
and
Oh,
they're
you're going to
like-
come to our small town?
Yeah.
Sure.
Come on. Yep.
Sure.
Welcome.
We all know each other.
Right.
Yup.
And we're going to stop you.
Yeah, this is our home.
700 people.
700 people in a town of 2,800 people.
Yep.
And 80 Black Lives Matter protesters were there. 80.
Yeah.
700 counter protesters.
Yeah.
They're like, nope.
Yeah, they're about to be woken up. They want to be
They're gonna
woke.
be double
They will.
woke. Yeah.
They will.
Yeah, one way to wake someone up is to, give them a nice little love tap on the back of the head, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. But all right. So look, I guess this is a crazy story. All right. People are making fun of the Atlanta police. They're throwing a tantrum because they're being held accountable. Oh, please spare me, dude.
Oh,
You have no idea.
That's not what this is
Welcome to the
about.
Purge, man. Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. We do the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. If you want to catch the full show, tune in to this channel, subscribe, hit the like button, or check us out on iTunes and Spotify, and we will soon have this podcast up for free on all podcast platforms. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all in the next episode.